All right, welcome to Georgian Landscape Design. If you're watching this video, you're stepping into one of the most important roles in our company. And listen, you're not just a landscape designer, and you're not just a salesperson. You are literally the bridge between a client's vision and a finished outdoor space that they're gonna live in for years to come. So, let's walk through exactly how we interact with clients and how we win projects the right way. The first step, and this is non-negotiable, we always lead with gratitude. Every single time you meet with a client, you thank them. And not just once, but multiple times throughout the entire conversation. You've got to understand something. They didn't have to choose us. There are hundreds of landscape companies in Atlanta, but they chose Georgian Landscape Design and they paid us to come out and talk to them. That's important. That matters. So I want you to say it clearly. Hey, I just want to say thank you for choosing us. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here, and I hope to earn your business. And then you reinforce that throughout the visit. And that sets the tone. It shows professionalism, and it separates us from the rest of the pack immediately. The next step, we want to gather their vision. But listen, before you even got on site, the client filled out a questionnaire. And that's going to be your roadmap. You should already have a baseline understanding of what they want because you've already looked over the questionnaire before you got there. Now, your job is to go deeper. Ask them questions. Ask about their vision. Ask what they've seen that they like. Ask for their inspiration, their pictures, maybe Pinterest, Instagram, anything that you can use to get them thinking. And you want to get them talking. The more they talk, the more you learn. And the more you learn, the easier it is to design and sell. We don't want you guessing. You're pulling the vision out of their head. Now, once you understand what they want, the next step is to anchor the budget. You need to take this moment to generalize the project and give them a realistic range. What I usually say is something like, hey, based on what you're describing, this sounds like a six-figure project. Is that within your budget? You've got to have that confirmation, because if the budget doesn't align, nothing else matters, and then we're wasting our time. But if they say yes, now we're in business. And now comes the next step, where we transition into selling the design. At Georgian Landscape Design, we don't do large projects without a design, period. And you need to communicate why. You need to explain that the design protects them. It ensures that they get exactly what they want. It eliminates surprises, it removes miscommunication, it creates a clear blueprint for the entire project. And this is not an optional step. This is a necessary step for any project that has design elements over $30,000. You also need to explain the process. And it goes like this. We create a full design. We can revise it once or twice at no cost. And if the revisions go beyond that, there may be an additional charge, but the goal is simple. We're going to keep working until it's right. And then once the design is approved, we create construction plans. And those plans ensure that what we build matches exactly with what they saw and what they approved. So the client knows exactly what they're getting before they ever sign a construction contract. Now, I want you to explain the investment. The design fee is non-refundable, but it is credited back to their project if they move forward with us. That's important. It shows commitment on both sides. Now, once they agree to move forward with the design, this is where your role becomes extremely important from a documentation standpoint. Before you leave the property, you need to capture everything. You're going to need to take full measurements of the space and be thorough. This is what the entire project is going to be built from. Then we need you to create a 3 to 5 minute project video on your phone. And this video needs to walk the entire property. Front yard, backyard, side yards, all working areas. And as you're walking, you're talking. You're explaining exactly what the client wants. You're pointing out key areas, you're describing elevations, drainage concerns, existing conditions, and how the space is going to come together in the end. Think of it like this. You're talking directly to the design team because that's exactly what you're doing. This video, along with your photos and your measurements, is how you transfer the client's vision into something we can actually build. Now, here's the thing. You are not responsible for creating the design yourself. Your job is to capture the vision clearly and completely. From there, you're going to upload everything into our software. The design team will take over and produce the full package, including the 2D design, the 3D renderings, and the construction plans. And once that package is complete, it comes back to you. At that point, you need to review it, make sure it aligns with what the client asked for, and get ready for presentation. Quick clarification though, projects under $30,000 typically don't require a design. Those can move straight to the quote. But anything above that threshold, we are requiring a design. No shortcuts. Now, once the design is completed and approved, we move into the most important phase, the presentation. You're going to build the quote based on the approved design and construction plans. Then, I need you to schedule a time to meet with the client in person. We do not email designs. We do not email quotes. We present them in person. This is where the deals are won. You sit down with them. You walk through the design again. You explain the scope. You go over the numbers, and most importantly, you connect with the client. Remember, this is your opportunity to build trust, answer questions, and guide them into the decision. And let's be clear about the objective. We are there to close the deal. We want the approval and the deposit before we leave the house. Now, the good news is, if you followed the process correctly, this part should feel natural. It shouldn't feel salesy. It's just a presentation of all the ideas that they've asked for. They've already committed to the design. They've already discussed the budget. They've already approved what it's going to look like. Now the objective is aligning the numbers and making them feel confident moving forward with us. You're not hard selling, you're just guiding. So let's recap. Always lead with gratitude. Understand their vision by asking lots of questions. Confirm their budget. Sell the design and its value. Capture measurements, photos, and a full project video. Transfer everything to the design team, present in person, and close the deal. If you follow this process every time, you're going to build trust, create better projects, and most importantly, you're going to sell more work. So good luck out there, represent GLD well, and let's go win.